Hey everyone, so recently I covered Lyney's kit, but I haven't been seeing much people talking about his sister, Lynette. Now I didn't know anything about her to say. I really thought that she could have been a support like Sarah to Raiden, Farzan to Wanderer or Zhao, maybe even a Shinsho to Hu Tao, but she isn't to say, and it's not actually worth using her with him. What? Why? No, of course, there will be somehow and some way to actually get her to work with him. But let me go over her kit and give you a little explanation of what she could do and the possible teams that we may want to run with Lyney and why Lynette may not be the support to run for him. Now, a normal and charge attack, there's nothing really that special to say until you hit C6 with her. Then she becomes a little bit like Kazuha, where she gets a animo infusion for her sword. But other than that, I don't think that there's any actual use to use her normal charge attack or plunge unless you really love her animations, and we do know that Hoyoverse loves to give the 4 stars some of the best normal and charge attack animations there are in the game. Her elemental skill has 2 different skill abilities. One is a tap and one is a hold. The tap version, she will execute an Enigma Thrust, dealing animo damage. When Enigma Thrust hits an opponent, it will restore Lynette's health depending on her max HP. However, in the following 4 seconds, she will lose a certain amount of HP per second. Furthermore, based on how her skill is used, it will have different effects. The hold version, Lynette will enter a high-speed pilfering shadow state and apply shadow sign to a nearby opponent. When the state ends, she will approach the enemy marked by shadow sign in a flash and use Enigma Thrust. Only one enemy can be marked by shadow sign at a time, and if the enemy moves too far from Lynette, the mark will be cancelled. Basically, she just goes into a state what Yalan does, and she runs around and tags the enemy, but she can only tag one opponent to do this ability. In addition, Lynette will unleash Surging Blades at specific intervals when she uses Enigma Thrust, dealing animo damage. Her skill cooldown is 12 seconds. So far from this description that I've gotten, it seems like she doesn't have any grouping capabilities like most of the great animo supports have. Now, I believe with one of her constellations, she does get some grouping capabilities, and I wish I could tell you it's easy to get, but we know how hard it is to get constellations for a 4-star. Her elemental burst will deal AoE animo damage and summon a giant boggle box, which has the following effects. Taunt nearby enemies, deals animo damage to nearby enemies at intervals. If the boggle cut comes in contact with Pyro, Electro, Hydro, Cryo, it will absorb the element and fire 5 vivid shots, dealing damage based on the element absorbed. Only one element can be absorbed for the entire duration of the burst. Lynette's boggle box stays active for 12 seconds and has a very long cooldown of 18 seconds. Furthermore, its energy cost is sadly 70. So from that, whether or not her elemental skill, her normal attack, charge attack, plunge attack, if they deal damage, if you want to use her burst, you will have to build a ton of energy recharge on her. So most likely, you're gonna use either the Noblest set or the Emblem of Severed Fate set for her if she's going to be used as an animo support. But is she really that much of a support? Let me go over her passive and see if it adds anything to it. Oh yeah, and I didn't forget, most likely we will be using the 4-piece Viridescent set on her if we're gonna use her as a support with a ton of energy recharge too. First passive, within 10 seconds of using her elemental burst, when there are 1, 2, 3, 4 members in the party, the entire party's attack will be increased by 8, 12, 16 and 20%. Second passive, after Lynette's boggle box absorbs one element, her burst damage will be increased by 15%. Last passive shows the location of nearby revival orbs on the minimap. What is revival orbs? The underwater and stamina HP gain upon touching these orbs will be increased by 25%. Okay, let me not get into that type of leaks. We just covering kits and stuff on this channel. Okay, so as we saw there, she don't actually have that much better buffs than a Bennett for Lyney. I actually thought that she would have been a support for him. I mean, she could work, obviously she could work, but my concern is that from right now, from what I'm seeing, Lyney will be run in a mono pyro team because he gets more damage based on the pyro units in his team. But even so, let's say we want to run her, right? They're gonna use the 4-piece Viridescent set. That's just a broken set, so he will deal more pyro damage. He will get 20% attack as well from her passive, because obviously we're gonna have 4 characters in our team, but at C0 she doesn't have any grouping capabilities, so it has me thinking, is Lyney a single target damaging dealing character? Maybe has a little bit of AoE. I'm not sure. I'll have to look it over again. The one good thing is that her burst can infuse elements, but the problem is that based on how the text is written, it will prioritize pyro, then electro, then hydro, and then cryo. So most likely if you pop Bennett's burst and then you pop her burst, it will infuse pyro, which again Lyney could take advantage of it, because he will deal more damage to the enemy if they are inflicted with pyro. Now I'm not sure how good her taunt is. Maybe her taunt could actually make up for the grouping, and we have to remember that Lyney in his base kit, once he does a level 2 charge attack, he does some taunts as well. Now going off on their team, they surround themselves with magic, and what does magic has? A lot of distractions. So maybe that's the whole point about 2 of them. Maybe they will distract the enemy's aggro from you to their taunts, and since it is continuous taunts over and over, maybe that's their niche. I think that's the kind of playstyle the both of them will bring for us. It's not a new playstyle, it's more of a refined one. So again, from right now, she doesn't seem to be his best support, but she is a support that could work with him. But yeah, that's Lynette's kit and my thoughts on the twins and how they could work together. Leave it to us on below and call me out if I made any mistakes. Hit the like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.
Stars shining really, moon visions in my sight, landing nowhere with the sight. Had to take her with me, she was tasty to my sight, so I had a couple bites. I'm offended, there's no